because that man is supposed to come here and sell that fight. He's supposed to believe in himself. Even if I don't, he's supposed to believe himself. He's supposed to tell me he's going to do these things to me, because I'm telling him when the bell rings, I'm going to punch him up. So if he doesn't say that, then he is a dickhead and he never should have turned up today. I can say it and he shouldn't take it personally. What do you want me to do? Go and give the man a fucking hug and say, I hope we have a great fight? I don't hope he has a great fight. I hope he has the worst fucking fight of his life. I hope I punch him up from the fucking first bell to the last bell. I want him to think, fucking hell, why did I even take that fight? He's too much for me. I want him to think that, because that means that I've done my coach proud, that I've done my family proud and my people proud, and I've done myself proud. And that's what this is about. This is for me. I've said it before, and I've said it in conversation, but I don't think I've ever said this on interview. So I actually want to give a shout out, and you'll know this man. He's a very good friend of mine. I want to give a shout out to Ian Freeman. Right? And the reason I want to give a shout out to Ian Freeman, he's one of the UK pioneers, one of the UK MMA legends. Okay? Legend. One of the first two that was in the UFC, along with Mark Weir as well. Yeah, now, I watched Ian Freeman fight a very good friend of mine, Paul Cahoon. Paul Cahoon was a stud. Boom. Right? An absolute stud. Listen, what a powerful, violent, aggressive man, but a lovely man as well. But he's a serious guy in and outside of the cage. And I can remember Ian Freeman fighting him on Cage Rage. I don't know if you remember it.
Yeah.
Was it in Birmingham?
Boom. Yeah.
And Ian was 49 years old, right? And everyone said, oh, shouldn't do that fight. Paul's going to kill him. Right? Now, I like Paul and I like Ian. And I knew Ian back from the amateur days. And I never wanted to see them two fight, because I got on with them, as was the case back then. Friends was fighting friends, right? Because there wasn't many people on the circuit.
Sport. That's right.
So we were all knew each other and ended up fighting, right? So I didn't want to see the fight. But I was like, Ian's 49, man. Everyone's written him off. Even though even back then he was still a bit of a legend, right? But people hadn't really grasped what he'd done. Ian won that fight. Mauled him 3 rounds at 49. And it was at that point that I knew I was always going to do this at 50. Always. And this was, I don't want to out Ian for his age, but this was a good 10, 15 years ago when Ian done this, all right? I knew at that point, Ian Freeman, man, wicked guy, love that guy. He done this at 49 years old. And he beat a strong prime Paul Cahoon, who was no joke, man.
Stud.
Trust me, no joke. A stallion of a man, right? I knew at that point I was doing this at 50. And you see the man that can get me motivated for that? He's sat at the end of this table.